Rosary and convent and social hall. And very few people know the history of this area, but I'll tell you a little bit. Some of it's written on my webpage. So behind you is that beautiful church, very unique. And in front of that is a church bell that you can see behind the wrought iron fence. But the church itself has a concept called a parish. It was thought of in 1896, and they held mass at people's houses. They had a pastor. It was a breakaway from the Roman Catholic Church, but they didn't want to break away too far. So the Holy Mother of the Rosary Polish National Church is a somewhat breakaway. They have their own cemetery on Rosary Street in Chicopee, which is very close to Fairview Cemetery. The congregation was not very large, so they didn't need a big church. And the first pastor, he held Mass here in 1897, January 5th of that year. And it very quickly went up, and it was ready in 1901, September 29th. The church bell was installed, and Masses were being held. Now, the church bell is on the ground now. They didn't think it was safe up there anymore. They took it down and put it in the front here, which is fine. It's still an active church, so you can still come here for Masses. They had 9:30 Masses on Sunday. All right, now, it's a complete campus in the sense that watch all the buildings around it. So the church is there, but right alongside of it, they have a building that's the rectory. Right, and the rectory houses not just a pastor, because it turns out that they had the bishop of the Polish National Church here. There was the equivalent of the Pope in New York State for the Polish National Church, and the bishop was divided to one in Illinois and one in Massachusetts. This one in Massachusetts would serve the Northeast, and he would live here. And he's buried with great honors in the Holy Rosary Cemetery, right in front with two big monuments. One looks like an altar, one looks like a monument of a cemetery. So this used to be not just a rectory, but it held the bishop too. Okay? And that means that this church used to be a cathedral. Okay? And most people don't realize that. So Chicopee had a cathedral. And then in 1936, they decided to open up their own school. It was a kindergarten, 8th grade school. And the children went here for many, many years. It's not active anymore as that. It's now active hall. And they got so many kids in it that if you look towards the back, an addition was added at some point. All right, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, there's two more features to this campus, and we'll go see through this gap there. And through the one gap, you can see a large building back there. That was also bought by the parish for the nuns. And then also through that gap, there's a social function hall. And that building, they don't own that anymore, but that was a social function hall. They bought that and converted it over. So I would say about 2/3 of the city block at one point belonged to the Holy Rosary National Church. That's an incredible active campus. And it's always been that way, and they're always very proud of what they have done through the years. The bishop and the first pastor, again, his name was Vicente Gawryczkowski. And I'll tell you one more thing that's very important. The original name of this whole parish was the Independent Polish Roman Catholic Church of the Holy Mother of the Rosary. That's in a long title, and I'm glad they changed their name to later to the Holy Mother of the Rosary Polish National Church, because all it did was drop one word. But nowadays it's still a very long title, Holy Mother of the Rosary Polish National Catholic Church. Okay, that's a mouthful. Most people would just call it Polish National Church or Rosary. Thank you very much.